VOA News. I'm Christopher Cruz reporting. The U.S.-led coalition fighting the Islamic State terrorist group has targeted a second mosque in eastern Syria in less than a week. It says the normally protected from attack religious building was used as an insurgent command and control center. The strike on Monday happened in a mosque in as-Sousa, near the border with Iraq. That mosque was 2.5 kilometers away from a mosque that was struck last week. NATO says one of its service members has been killed and two others wounded in an attack in Herat province. The organization said initial reports indicate the attack was committed by a member of the Afghan security forces. President Trump's national security advisor John Bolton in Moscow on Monday says he told Russian officials that the country's meddling in the 2016 election did not affect the outcome but did create distrust. Before joining the Trump administration, Bolton called Russian efforts to meddle in the election, quote, an act of war. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan is promising to reveal details about the case of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi in a speech to Parliament on Tuesday. Saudi Arabian officials say the country's de facto ruler, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, spoke Monday by telephone to Khashoggi's son, expressing his condolences for his father's killing. Associated Press correspondent Chris Torchia.
Khashoggi's fiancée has been placed under police protection, according to Turkish authorities. She was actually at the consulate on the day that Khashoggi disappeared. She did go with him, but she stayed outside. And otherwise, her social media presence has died off a little bit. She's keeping a pretty low profile right now. Saudi Arabia now admitting Khashoggi was killed inside its consulate in Istanbul. This is VOA News. A caravan of thousands of migrants continues marching toward the United States from Mexico.
The government of Honduras won't help anybody, even if you're disabled. Just look at all these people here who haven't been able to find work.
On Twitter Monday, President Trump said the U.S., quote, will now begin cutting off or substantially reducing the amount of foreign aid given to Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador. He said they were not able to do the job of stopping migrants from leaving their countries and coming illegally to the United States. Uganda's security forces are now under scrutiny after a video surfaced showing plainclothes officers brutally beating and arresting a civilian on the street. Uganda's army spokesman says the troops are facing a disciplinary committee. Correspondent Halima Athumani reports for VOA from Kampala.
After the video of the beating and arrest was made public, the Ugandan army and police forces initially denied any knowledge of the 5 security men. But on Friday evening, Army spokesman Brigadier Richard Karemire released photos of the men appearing before a disciplinary committee. Without identifying the men or their unit, the 5 were charged with conduct prejudicial to good order and discipline. The army says they pleaded guilty to the charges, which carry maximum punishment of disgraceful discharge.
Cameroon's longtime leader, Paul Biya, has been declared the winner of the country's October 7th presidential election. Opposition parties are rejecting the results, but the Constitutional Council has already thrown out petitions to nullify the election. Correspondent Moki Edwin Kinzika reports for VOA from Yaoundé.
Last week, Cameroon's Constitutional Council threw out 18 petitions demanding the election be nullified. The opposition parties allege widespread irregularities, insecurity and low turnout, especially in the restive Anglophone regions. But the court ruled there was not enough evidence to throw out the results. Biya has been in power for over 40 years in Cameroon, 7 as prime minister, 36 as president. In 2008, he removed term limits from the constitution, allowing him to serve indefinitely.
Hurricane Willa has strengthened to a Category 5 storm as it moves toward Mexico's Pacific coast with winds of 260 kilometers per hour. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Willa is expected to make landfall Tuesday afternoon or evening, expected to strike near Mazatlan, a city of about 500,000 that's home to a large number of American and Canadian expatriates. There's more on these and other late-breaking and developing stories from around the world around the clock at voanews.com and on the VOA News mobile app. I'm Christopher Cruz, VOA News.